catastrophic environmental disaster, perhaps the most horrifying of all others in the United States. This unfortunate incident caused many birth defects, miscarriages, and health issues created by tons of toxic waste bursting from the ground below. Today, we explore another environmental disaster on Kevin Wu's The Human Tragedy. Our story begins in the state of New York, 1892. A young entrepreneur named William T. Love sizes up the lower Niagara River and has a brilliant idea to create a canal there, a perfect location for an unlimited supply of energy. Unfortunately, the Panic of 1893 struck, less than a year from when Love began his project. With the economic depression, combined with the Nikola Tesla's alternating current being able to travel long distances, Love was forced to abandon his project a few years later in 1910. And then, the seeds of disaster was planted. The Hooger Chemical Corporation, the city of Niagara, and the U.S. Army decided that this land was to be used as a municipal and chemical disposal site. Years of use made the site grow in disgusting substance. Mismanaged and not sited well, the landfill's condition grew even worse. It was not until 1953 when the hazardous site was covered with dirt and sold. The Board of Education bought the entire site with only a warning of possible danger for the ludicrous price of $1. Unaware of the danger, the town bloomed. Around 800 homes and 240 apartments were built around the elementary school. By the 1960s, complaints of strange odors and substances seeping up from the ground were growing numerous. When the city finally realized they had to act, they hired a company to consult and ignored the warnings of PCBs found in sewer systems and chemicals in sump pumps. They ignored recommendations and just covered suspected chemical sites with more dirt and clay. Lois Gibbs, a woman working at the school, demanded that her child be transferred away from the canal, seeing the problems that the chemicals were causing, especially in the wettest areas. After she was denied the right, she began the Love Canal Parents Movement. Forced to respond, the New York State closed the school and purchased its first 2 rings of homes closest to the canal. Pregnant women and the children under the age of 2 were also evacuated. In 1979, research studies were made showing the sharp increase of miscarriages, birth defects, hyperactivity, stillbirths, and more. In wet areas, miscarriages quadrupled. 56% of the children born in the second half of the decade in that region had birth defects. The other residents were angry, their homes worthless and their health failing. Other residents demanded that they too would be evacuated. Under the continuous pressure, President Carter in 1980 finally allowed for compensation and evacuation of all residents in Love Canal. The lesson that Love Canal has taught us is both that the environment must be protected so that it doesn't hurt us back, but that also the government can't always protect you. This toxic waste disposal site is not the only one across America. Love Canal has come to symbolize the importance of environmental awareness and has sparked many environmental movements. In response to Love Canal, the 1980 Comprehensive Environmental Response, Compensation, and Liability Act, also known as Superfund, or CERCLA, was passed by legislation, an act that should ameliorate any disasters like the Love Canal again by responding quicker.